In a move that marks a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict, President Biden has authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, for strikes within Russia. This decision shatters a previous policy that restricted the use of such weapons to Ukrainian territory. The authorization, confirmed by U.S. officials, signals a new phase in the Biden administration's support for Ukraine. It also raises serious concerns about a potential widening of the conflict. The decision comes after months of debate within the administration. Some officials argued that providing Ukraine with long-range missiles could provoke Russia and escalate the conflict. Others, however, maintained that Ukraine needed the capability to strike Russian military targets inside Russia in order to effectively defend itself. The recent deployment of North Korean troops to the Kursk region appears to have tipped the balance in favor of providing Ukraine with the more powerful weapons. The authorization to use ATACMS inside Russia is a clear signal of the Biden administration's commitment to supporting Ukraine. It also reflects the administration's growing concern about Russia's willingness to escalate the conflict. This move is likely to be met with strong condemnation from Moscow. It remains to be seen how Russia will respond, but it is possible that this decision could lead to a further escalation of the conflict. The international community has also expressed concern about the potential for the conflict to escalate. The United Nations has called for a ceasefire and a negotiated settlement. The authorization of strikes on Russian soil is a risky move that could have far-reaching consequences. It remains to be seen whether it will help to end the conflict or only serve to prolong it. The initial target of these long-range missiles is expected to be the Kursk region in western Russia. This area has become a focal point in the conflict due to the recent deployment of Russian and North Korean troops. The presence of North Korean forces, a new development, has raised alarms in the West and is seen as a sign of Russia's increasing isolation. Kursk is a strategically important region for both Russia and Ukraine. For Russia, it serves as a key logistical hub for its military operations in eastern Ukraine. For Ukraine, striking targets in Kursk could disrupt Russia's supply lines and hinder its ability to wage war. The decision to target this region specifically suggests that the U.S. is seeking to cripple Russia's war effort and pressure Moscow to negotiate an end to the conflict. The presence of North Korean troops in Kursk adds another layer of complexity to the situation. It is unclear what role these troops are playing in the conflict. Their presence, however, raises concerns about the potential for the conflict to escalate into a wider regional war. The U.S. and its allies are closely monitoring the situation in Kursk. They have warned North Korea against any further involvement in the conflict. The targeting of Kursk is a calculated risk by the Biden administration. It remains to be seen whether this gamble will pay off or backfire. The outcome of this decision will have significant implications for the future of the war in Ukraine and for the security of the region as a whole. The decision to authorize strikes within Russia was taken, in part, due to the confirmed presence of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces. The involvement of North Korea, a country with a history of military provocations and a nuclear weapons program, introduces a dangerous new element into the conflict. This development has raised questions about potential technology sharing between Russia and North Korea. It has also heightened anxieties about the conflict escalating beyond Ukraine's borders. The Biden administration views North Korea's involvement as a direct threat to U.S. interests and regional stability. The presence of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces is a clear indication of the growing alliance between these two nations. This alliance poses a direct challenge to the United States and its allies. The U.S. has condemned North Korea's involvement and has imposed new sanctions on the country in response. These sanctions are designed to further isolate North Korea from the global economy and to pressure the regime to cease its provocative actions. The international community has also condemned North Korea's actions, with many countries calling for the immediate withdrawal of its troops from Ukraine. The situation in Ukraine is rapidly evolving, and the stakes are incredibly high. The involvement of North Korea has added a new level of complexity and danger to an already volatile situation. The Biden administration is facing mounting pressure to respond decisively. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining the future course of this conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, while not directly confirming the U.S. authorization, has responded to the development with a focus on the practical implications of missile availability. He emphasized that the quantity of missiles provided is more crucial at this juncture than any lifting of geographical restrictions. Zelensky suggested that the impact of the strikes would speak for themselves. hinting at a strategic approach to their deployment. Zelensky's measured response reflects the Ukrainian government's understanding of the delicate geopolitical situation. While welcoming the increased military support from the United States, Zelensky is also aware of the need to avoid actions that could be perceived as overly provocative by Russia. He is walking a fine line between expressing gratitude for the support and avoiding escalation of the conflict. Zelensky's focus on missile quantity underscores the dire situation facing Ukrainian forces. Ukraine is heavily reliant on Western military aid to defend itself against the Russian invasion. The availability of long-range missiles like the ATACMS is crucial for Ukraine's ability to strike at Russian military targets. Zelensky's statement suggests that Ukraine intends to use these missiles judiciously and strategically. The international community is closely watching how Ukraine will utilize these newly acquired capabilities. The stakes are high, and any miscalculation could have serious consequences. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining the impact of these long-range missiles on the battlefield and the broader geopolitical landscape.